Hey guys, happy 2022. I hope you all had a lovely holiday. I am back. It has been about a week since I finished up Mishmas and I was missing it. I was really missing vlogging. But what I wanted to do today for you guys was to do a favorites. So I do have a December favorites. I know during Mishmas I did like a best of 2021. I did like my all-time absolute favorite luxury makeup. But today I thought I would just share with you some of the things that I tried in December that I really, really love, things that I kept reaching for. And I put as much of the makeup that I'm going to be talking about today on my face. So we'll be doing some cutaways to me applying them. Otherwise, I'll just be showing them to you. So let's go ahead and get started with primer. I should actually talk about primer and the foundation that I wanted to mention together because they are such a fantastic pair. So the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, you guys know this has been a long time, long-standing favorite primer of mine, but I started to use this a lot in December because it is a fantastic pairing to the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Foundation. I use this in the shade number 7 and I use just the tiniest bit and I feel like it just goes a long way. So she designed the pump in this foundation to dispense just a little bit because it is very highly pigmented. You don't need a lot, especially if you like lighter coverage kind of foundation, which I do. So I only used one pump today all over my face, and I just love the finish that it leaves on my skin when I use it with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. If I don't use a moisturizing primer like this one, this foundation tends to look a little bit dry on my skin. But so long as I put down a primer, one of my favorites, I have dry skin, so I'll go in with this. I'll go in with the Victoria Beckham Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer. Any of those kind of like moisturizing primers, they just work beautifully with this foundation. If you want a little bit of something, if you feel like your skin is a little bit dry, it's such a great pairing. So I feel like as long as you prep your skin properly for this foundation, it's wonderful. Like the finish that it gives my skin, I have highlight on, but the finish that it gives my skin, it's so natural, it's so smooth, it's slightly blurring. And like I said, I just need teeny tiny bit of this foundation for my entire face. And I feel like it evens out my skin tone. It's just wonderful. It is so, so beautiful. And I love it with this Vitamin Enriched Face Base. Like I said, I've tried it with my other kind of like favorite primers that are very moisturizing, but there's something about this one. I think because a lot of my other priming moisturizers have a little bit of sheen to them. Not that I don't like a sheen to my base products. You guys know I don't mind a sheen. Again, dry skin, aging skin. I like a little bit of glow, but there's just something so natural about this. There's no glow to this, just kind of like a natural kind of moisturized look. And then this just, it's just like perfection. It just goes on, it smooths everything out. It's so good. And this shade is perfect for me. So I use a shade number 7. If you guys have a similar skin tone to mine, you've used me as a reference, I would use number 7 as at least a starting point for you. Her shade range is very, very extensive and it's almost hard to tell online, like the slight nuance between them. So anyway, hopefully she gets her sample cards back in stock. I know the lighter shades were sold out. I'm a shade 7. I think it works beautifully for me and I love it with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. And speaking of a glowy base, if I don't feel like any kind of foundation or anything, what I've been doing is just throwing on this Supergoop Glowscreen SPF 40. And I can't remember if I mentioned this in last month's favorites, but I definitely mentioned it when I did a violet gray haul. That's when I got it. And so this is relatively new to my collection. And I know it's not a new product, but I was like, where has this been my whole life? It leaves your skin with such a beautiful glow. You definitely have to like glow. If you have oily skin and you're not into that look, I don't think you're gonna like this, but I have very dry skin. I have aging skin. And so anytime I can add a little bit of glow, I feel like it adds a little bit of healthiness to my complexion. I just love it. It's not quite as glowy as like a liquid highlighter. You know, you don't want to run into like kind of like Tin Man territory. So this has a little bit more subtlety than that, but there is definitely a glow to it, and you can definitely use it as a glowy base as well. So if you have like a sheer foundation and you apply it over this, the sheen of this will definitely come through. So it's just a beautiful base, and it helps that it has SPF 40. So that has been my non-base base favorite for December. Concealers, powders, really nothing new to talk about there. I'm still loving the Dior Forever Skin Correct Concealer. That's just wow. Michelle, shut up. And then the Kogendo Natural Lighting Powder. That's what I have on on today. I'm not even gonna bother mentioning that because it's been years since that has been appearing in my favorites. So let's move on to bronzer. I think this was a favorite maybe earlier this year, or even last year, but this is the Vapour bronzing powder in Eclipse. And I just love this bronzing powder. It has such a great tone. It's very, very neutral. I hope you can tell that it's not that warm. There isn't a lot of orange in there. There's no peach. If anything, I would say there's just the slightest hint of red. It's one of those bronzers, which I really, really like. And it also has a little bit of a sheen. I don't know if you guys can make that out, but there's like a little bit of a sheen to it, which I really enjoy. I don't mind a matte bronzer, but again, dry skin, and I really like at least a little bit of sheen to my face and my cheek products. So I've been using this one all month. I pulled it out. I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of forgot about this. I think I was going through my collection. And yeah, I've been using it ever since. So that is the Vapour bronzing powder in Eclipse. And Vapour is a clean beauty brand. So that's even better. So that's my bronzer, the bronzer that I've been using for December. And as for blushes, this one I mentioned during my best of 2021. This is the Dior blush in Charnelle, $4.59. And I've been talking about this a lot. I've been using this a lot, so I don't have this on today. I spared you guys, but this is one of my all-time favorite blushes. And yeah, it's just a gorgeous color. It is neutral, slightly warm leaning, so it really blends into your bronzer beautifully. It has, again, just that slightest bit of sheen. It's actually a very similar level of sheen to the Vapour bronzer. So just like a nice kind of subtle satin sheen. And the formula is wonderful, picks up very easily. It's pigmented, but not too pigmented, so you don't have to be too careful when applying your blush. So that's the Dior blush. I'll just move on because I've been talking about that a lot lately. And this blush, I've been talking about this a lot too, but this is what I have on today. This is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate blush. This is the blush duo in Explicit Flush. So I have all 6 of the shades. I love them all. I probably pick out a different one, every once in a while, but this one is really the one that I reach for the most. I really like this very neutral side, and then I love this bright, punchy side. So what I like to do is apply this more neutral side, kind of like as a light dusting all over my cheek, and then I'll go in with the brighter one and just sort of focus that right onto the apples of my cheeks and then blend them out. Of course, I'll go into both and just brush them all over my cheeks. That makes for a beautiful color as well. So I just love this formula. Again, you guys have heard me talk about this a gazillion times, but this formula is beautiful. It's just a pressed powder formula, but it's so fine that it just applies like a whisper. It just applies so beautifully. It's like immediately diffused. There isn't a lot of blending that needs to go on, and it just melts into your skin. It just completely becomes one with your cheek. So that is Explicit Flush from Tom Ford. And then for highlight, this is another repeat from November, but these are the Natasha Denona Glam face palettes. So I have this highlight on, the one from the Light palette. So I have this lightly dusted on my cheekbones. It is a very, very strong highlight, as you guys can see, because I use just the tiniest bit. But I've been loving these face palettes still, and I was calling them the Glow face palettes for so long. They're the Glam face palettes. So that one was the Light. This one is the Deep. I use the Deep if I want a more dramatic eye look, but I tend to reach for the Light more often. This is definitely a little bit more or better suited for my skin tone. So I do have this eyeshadow on today, but we'll get to that when we talk about eyes. I really, really love the cream blush and that highlight. Very nice. All the shades in here are gorgeous. I've just been loving this face palette. In fact, I haven't even put them away. They've just been sitting on my vanity, which says a lot because I try and put my makeup away often because my vanity is very, very small. It gets crowded very easily, but every time I look at them, I'm like, nah, I'll just leave them there because I know I'm gonna grab for them. So that is the Natasha Denona Glam face palette, both the light and the dark. Nothing new for eyebrows. I've been using the Persona Swipe Up Brow Gel that I've been mentioning also just a lot. For eyes, like I said, I do have this in outer corners and like crease of my eyes, but what I have all over my lid is the Victoria Beckham Lid Luster in Chiffon. Well, I just love these lid lusters. They are just gorgeous and stunning, and she knocked it out of the park with the 2 new ones that she came out with. So she came out with Chiffon, and again, this is what I have all over my lids. If you just want a really ethereal, glittery, but not too glitzy, it's just a really lovely like sheen. sheen to your eyelids, like look no further. Absolutely gorgeous. And the other shade that she came out with, Mirror, is a little bit more glitzy because it is like a disco ball on your eyelids. So this one is Mirror. I don't have this on at all, so let me do a quick swatch. But this is just, look at that. Oh, it is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So if you want a bolder look, I would say, than the chiffon, I would go with the Mirror. It's obviously also a much cooler toned eye look, but these lid lusters are so stunning. They go on really easily with your finger. I also use my W23 brush from Esam. This is a sable hair brush, so it picks up like glittery shades very easily, very nicely. I don't get a lot of fallout when I use this brush, so that's what I use to apply the chiffon. And then, like I said, I have the crease color from the light Natasha Denona Glam Face palette on like the outer corner and the crease of my eyes. So that's what I have on in terms of eyeshadow, and I just love these lid lusters. I just love them. The chiffon is just such a great, turned up a little bit, everyday kind of look, if that makes sense. Okay, and then in terms of eyeliner, the Victoria Beckham Sea Gray Satin Kajal liner. Now these Satin Kajal liners are so incredible. They're so soft, they go on so smoothly, and they don't budge, they don't smudge, nothing. Let me do a quick swatch of this Sea Gray, and look at that next to the mirror. Oof. So you can see that there's like a depth of color there with the Sea Gray. So I have it like tight lined, I have it over my lashes. So I get like the depth that I want, but when I put it in my waterline down here, there's a little bit more of like that silver that comes out. And so it's just a really like fun, kind of like dual purpose eyeliner. I've never ever come across an eyeliner that I could use in the traditional sense where it'll like kind of deepen up the base of my lashes and then brighten up my waterline too. It's really cool. So I've been loving this. Very easy to use, gorgeous formula, beautiful shade. So been loving that. There is a new mascara in my life. Now this is fairly new, maybe just a couple weeks I've been using this. So this is from the new brand Caliray, and this is the brand that was started by Wendy, who started Urban Decay. And this is, I think, made out of like 100% bioplastic. I think everything is recyclable. And this is a tubing mascara. It's called Come Hell or High Water. That's the name of the mascara. It's a clean mascara. It's in the color black. I just love what it does for my lashes. The only thing I wish it did a little bit better was hold my curl. So when I first put it on, my curl is still there, but I feel like maybe it's been about an hour since I put on this mascara. I feel like my lashes are starting to kind of straighten out a little bit, but I love that it doesn't smudge, it doesn't flake, and I really like how long it makes my lashes, and it gives them a little bit of volume, but it does this really nice separating and lengthening, and I really like that. And I do like tubing mascaras. If you don't know what a tubing mascara does, it basically coats each lash, but it's when you remove it, like when you add water to your lashes, what happens is it comes off like these little tubes. It kind of flakes off, and so it makes like the removal of mascara really easy. Some people don't like it. They think it like takes their lashes off with it. I haven't really seen that. I have very wimpy lashes, and I have not seen that happen to my lashes. So I really like that because it makes the taking off of the mascara a lot easier. So that is my mascara pick. I'm really loving it. And look at this package. I love it. It's very like unicorn magical. Okay, so on to lips. So this is not a new formula, but this is a new shade to me. So this is the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude liner in the shade Illuminate. You know, I have, I think, all of her shades at this point. I don't know how many she has in total, but I have 8, and I think that, do I have 8? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I have 7. I have 7, I think, out of the 8 shades that she has. Anyway, this one is NP2, and I just really enjoy these nude lip liners from her because they make for really great like contour, and I feel like they make my lips look very full. So what I do is I just, I line my lips. I probably overline a little bit in the center of my lips, like right by the cupid's bow, right by like the poutiness of my lower lip. And then I color in a little bit, and then I'll just kind of pick a lip gloss and go with it. So I've been loving this color ever since I got it, this shade, ever since I got it about 2 weeks ago. I've been going with this really hard. And today I decided to put the Make Beauty Serum Balm in Nude Nova over this. And these serum balms continue to be a favorite of mine. I discovered these on Violet Grey, and I have all 5 shades, and I love them. They feel so comfortable on the lips. The colors are really fun. They're very sheer. It's definitely more of a lip care product versus a makeup product, I think. And then what I discovered, I don't know, maybe like the third or fourth time I wear it, and I kept forgetting to tell you guys, is like, I don't really taste it in the beginning, but there's something about this serum balm that like, by the time it kind of sets down, it leaves like a little bit of sweetness behind on your lips. It's actually a really nice little treat. Yeah, I just never noticed it until like the third or fourth wearing of it. So, and I kept neglecting to tell you. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. I thought that was really cool. And I think that's, oh, I forgot to mention something because I don't have them on, but I forgot to mention the Lisa Eldridge Liquid Lurex shadows. I love these. These are just so easy to use. So this one, Bianca, is my favorite. This one is the one I definitely reach for the most. This one has like a slight purpley pinky kind of tinge to it. And these do set down, but you have time to blend them out, and you blend them out and that's it. Like you can just draw a little bit from the doe foot applicator and then literally just smudge it out with your fingers. It is so easy. It's actually surprisingly easy. And look at how beautifully shimmery they are. I feel like the word glittery is not quite appropriate, but they're very like shimmery, almost like a fabric when you kind of like shake it in the light and it just catches the light and it looks like it's moving. That's what this reminds me of. Oh, so beautiful. Let me swatch the other two colors that I have. So there is Angelica and then there's Liza. And look how even the application is. Again, I just like swiped from the doe foot and then just smudged out with my finger. And that's it, no patchiness or anything. Oh, so beautiful. So I had to mention those. I can't believe I forgot. Forgot when I was talking about eyeshadows. But that is it for my December favorites. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please let me know what some of your favorites have been lately down below in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in a video soon.